Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome. And yes, the time has come for me to show you all that footage that I shot 32 years ago down in McCarthy Commercials in Watergrasshill, the Volvo dealership. Now, let me just give you a bit of a story behind this footage. Up until this point in 1988, we didn't have any Arctic trucks. We had rigid trucks, a number of them at this time, but myself and my father, Rory Lynch, went down to McCarthy's just to test drive some Arctics, just to see what they were like on the road and possibly put in an order and buy one. So yeah, Rory test drove the F10 with a whopping 320 horsepower. Then we test drove the F12, that had 400 horsepower. Then he test drove the FL6 with around 208 horsepower. So yeah, all the horsepower figures were very low back then. But I did hop into the passenger seat of the F16 and I have footage of that as well with somebody else driving it. Rory didn't want to drive that truck because he said, where would we be going with all that power? And look where we are today. Anyway, so yeah, let's get straight to the footage of myself, Rory and the salesman George Peer behind the wheel of the F12. I'll show you that footage and then we'll skip straight to the F16 footage. But take a look at this, guys, from 1988. Let me know what you think. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you some footage of 2020, how things are looking, and me doing my collections and deliveries all around Ireland. I'll show you some footage, what happened during the week. So let's get to it. Let's go back to 1988 and see what these Volvos were like on the road.
This is the F12 400. As you can see,
beautiful job.
She is quite nice, isn't she? It's quite unique insofar as that it's got one of these new fuelometers, which is starting to come into prominence only in the last 3 or 4 months.
Right. And
we actually haven't had it on the Irish market here as such.
Right.
And it's going to cost somewhere in the region of between £400 and £500 or thereabouts.
Right.
And
as an extra.
As an extra, absolutely. But I'd say in time, she has a night heater fitted as well, which is an extra. Yeah. But I feel myself in time, all these things are going to come as standard equipment because they're going to be essential.
Right. And do you think that? See the way that it's fitted there now. That's obviously isn't a permanent fitting.
Not a permanent fitting, because this particular truck is a demonstration model. Right. She will be sold, and it's quite obvious that they will take that out and put it into the new model that they will be replacing this one.
And fit it in a proper place.
Fit it in a proper place, exactly.
Right. This one is 9-speed, is she, with crawler?
This particular one now is actually a 14-speed.
Is she 14?
She is. She's 6 splitter, giving you 12. Plus 1 crawler, which you can also split, which gives you 14 speeds.
14 speeds.
And you also have a reverse, which you can also split, so you have 2 speeds in your reverse.
What would the idea now of be split in reverse?
If you were backing a reasonable distance,
right,
you could actually put it up into the higher box,
right,
and you can go that a little bit faster, and your engine isn't revving out as hard. Now these are all fully laden, Rory.
Fully laden.
Fully laden. We're 38 tons at the moment.
What's in them?
There's sand.
Sand?
Yeah. Sand inside in crates.
In crates?
In crates.
Oh my God.
That they were able to just put on in with a forklift.
And these came from Scotland, is it?
These trucks have been operating up and down the UK with all the distributors and Volvo dealers since January.
Oh my God.
They all have an average of between 25 to 40,000 miles done at this particular point in time. They're going on to Irish Commercials on Wednesday.
Yeah.
They will then be going on to Denison Commercials on next Saturday.
That's in the north.
That's in the north. Yeah. And then they have the complete dealer network covered.
I see. When you, on the air suspension now, when you start her up, the tanks perform the same function. In other words, the air is pumped into the...
yes, into the bags.
Bags.
That's quite right.
It's the same principle as the tanks are fitted up.
That's quite right.
And is there a cut-off point on them then when they've reached the...
When they've reached their maximum, it actually just cuts off then completely.
Right.
You have an air dryer which is also fitted standard equipment on the F12.
Right.
In other words, you don't have to bother cleaning out your tanks or cleaning out, releasing the air.
Right.
It does it automatically. In fact, as you're going along the road, you will actually hear a sort of a every so often.
Right.
That's the air actually being released. Absolutely.
If it builds up too high.
That's right. We have a tri-axle talkliner, as you can see behind us. She's fully laden. She's 38 tons GVW, giving us a payload of approximately 26 tons.
26 tons.
26 tons.
And this would be the maximum, say, on a tri-axle for...
That is the maximum for the UK and Ireland at the moment. But did you hear that little there now?
Yeah, I did.
That's there. That will happen about every 2 to 3 minutes.
Right. She's a smooth rider, alright.
Isn't she very smooth?
Is there air suspension on the front axle here? Is it?
No air suspension on the front axle. She's only air on the back. You can't get a Volvo at the moment with full air because the power steering actually fouls the air. The way it's actually designed.
Right.
And that's the reason that the only option that you can have full air suspension is with a left-hand drive.
With left-hand drive.
Yeah.
Right.
They haven't got a design properly yet for the right-hand drive.
So she's only air on the back axle of the tractor.
That is correct.
Here, mind that. Oh, you have a frost gauge, you have a turbo pressure gauge, and you have an air one.
An air, that's right. That's right.
And they're the 10 and the 12.
They're not. No, they're not even standard on the 12. They are extras actually.
Are
all
they?
those. They are extras.
Yeah.
And you have first, second, third, up with the button, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Right.
Very straightforward. Just press your grey button, which is at the side, and just engage your clutch in and out, and that will split at the half gear for you anytime that you want to do it.
Yeah. So that you don't have to really...
you don't have to change all the time if you don't want to. Exactly. Now, if you give her a fair run into this one here now, right? You're in the low box. You're in the low box.
Yeah.
As I say, give her a good run into this particular hill here now. Put her back. You're in, as I say, in top gear now at the moment.
Yeah.
I would imagine that you will not come out of that gear between here now and Watergrasshill.
This gear.
Yeah, the way you are there now at the moment.
She's running very smooth now.
Isn't she?
1500 and she's doing 45. She's at 1500 revs.
At 1500 revs, that's right.
Driver, George.
She's a very smooth driver.
With that load on it, like.
Yeah, I mean you're 38 tons gross there.
Yeah. Which is 26.
Which is about 26 tons payload.
Payload.
Yeah. She would be coming in somewhere.
I split this now.
Well, if you split it now, Rory, you won't get the advantage of changing it because you'll be actually splitting it into the high.
That's right.
Are you with me?
I am.
But by leaving her where she is there at the moment, as I say, we didn't get a really good run in as such, but I would still imagine that she has torque enough. She's still in the green there.
Oh, she's
well into it.
Yeah. She's just mid green.
Yeah. You know, just out of curiosity, I'd just like to prove the point to you about the power that she has.
Right.
You know, and what we can do, we can get another model that you can try splitting up and down the box, or we can take this one out again and try it, you know, just to get the feel of it.
Oh, she built up the revs again, even on that little patch there now.
Yes, yeah.
It's nearly up to 1500. So she was well able to come up that hill without changing at all.
That's right. That's
incredible. Huh?
It is incredible. Now, you're in a situation now, Rory, where you're coming onto the flat.
Yeah.
And you're doing about 1500 revs.
Yeah, 1400. Yeah.
So when she goes up to about 16 there, 16 and a half, you can split her. And she'll drop back then to around 13 and a half for you.
But I just press.
Just press your button now and engage your clutch in and out. That's it. Now she's done it.
Oh, and that lights up then.
That lights up to tell you you're in the overdrive.
You're in the overdrive.
Right? That?
Yeah.
Right. In and out with your clutch and give her the full accelerator now.
Yeah, for the hill.
For the hill. She should operate away there for you.
You got great response.
We got a tremendous response yesterday, and we had some very, very good customers.
Yeah.
Not messy customers. On open days like that, you can get a lot of people that just come along out of curiosity to drive trucks who have no intention whatsoever of ever buying.
Yeah.
And as I say, we were very impressed with the quality of the people that came up to us yesterday. So it was great. It was well worthwhile.
Well worthwhile.
Absolutely. We estimated that we had 4 trucks as good as sold just out of yesterday's. Yes. 4 trucks that I say we wouldn't have sold.
That you wouldn't have sold
otherwise.
Because of what they had seen yesterday.
Absolutely. In particular, the driving of the vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, of course, that is the final decision, like, it's the driving and it's how they perform then that kind of sways an awful lot of people.
That's right.
I mean, if you're looking at something on paper, it's a different thing besides actually sit into it and drive it.
Absolutely. And another very important factor is that Volvo personnel were over here yesterday as well.
Were they?
Oh yes, yeah. There's about 8 or 9 of them around.
Yeah.
And there to answer any questions with service, parts. Oh, they're here again today.
Here again today.
And I think a lot of potential customers could see the commitment that was there by Volvo.
Right.
And to bring you a rig or rigs such as they have done and the expense involved, it just shows you the commitment they have for the Irish market.
I got the road show is getting underway today now.
There's no shortage of them. Well, Rory, if I may say so, you drove that with the experience of a great driver.
So there we are, after our test drive in the F12 with 400 horsepower, as we pull in beside the white F10 with 320 horsepower, and beside it Volvo's flagship, the F16 with 470 horsepower, a beast at the time. So now it's time to hop on board the F16 in the passenger seat, see what it's like on the road, the Globetrotter F16. 470 horsepower, this truck back in 1988 was the bee's knees. A lot of people wanted this truck, of course not a lot were sold because it was quite expensive. Launched in 1987, it was the king of the road, the most powerful truck in Europe, finished in its original launch livery in black with the silver and red striping and the 470 decals. Yeah, these trucks are very rare even today in 2020. So let's hop on board and see what it's like on the road.
Probably will never have to change gear though, it's like top.
What's that, 24 ton, is it?
38 cross, isn't it? 38 cross, first. Did you look at the tail?
No, in the F16.
No, we didn't know, we was just talking about the trailer.
Proceeding for test.
Don't forget, Chief, you're on film. You're on film. Clear enough another half an hour. You know, it'll be very clear.
No, you're one coming against you now, take it. There's one coming against you, take it. There's one of us actually on the person. None of them will be objective.
Be all over before they get a chance.
That's the corner, but it's good job, isn't it?
The gear's in there somewhere. There! Found it!
Well, what do you think for her to drive?
Very good.
Comfortable and powerful.
Very comfortable, yeah. Powerful. Down the nice little job of driving.
And here we are, guys. 32 years later, I'm outside McCarthy Commercials in Watergrasshill. This was where we were coming out of the gate, going left, up through Watergrasshill. Oh yes, how times have moved on. And as we look at some FHs there, and the FMs. So yeah, 32 years on. Wow, it's good to be back. That traffic has been caused by all the cops checking all these commuters. Are they going on essential journeys? That's the joys of this job, getting lost, looking for places. I've been told he's up this road, but can't see anything. Is there any houses up here or anything? I don't know. Just here outside Shannon Airport, guys. Let me just zoom in. Right beside the airport, we've got all these planes parked up. Ryanair, Lufthansa, Aer Lingus. Man, it's a sad sight to see, isn't it? Even over here as well, look. Bunch of more planes. Yeah, that's how it looks. So, who knows how much longer they're going to be parked up there for. Got a big long tailback on the Naas Road there, guys. Yeah, they're all being checked by the police. So that was just some of what I got up to during the week driving the Scania R560, and I was really delighted to share that footage from 1988 of our test drives down in McCarthy Commercials in Watergrasshill. And just to follow up on those test drives, Rory did actually buy a truck shortly after that test drive. He bought the Volvo F10 and it had 320 horsepower. There's a photo of it there. Back then we had a white and blue livery. Today we have silver and blue livery. But I thought that that footage was gone forever. And I managed to find it. And not only that, but I have more footage that I want to share on the channel at some point in the future. Some footage some of you will definitely find interesting. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. And I'll chat to you all again next weekend for another video. So until then, take care and thanks for watching. Cheers! Another one of these morons, guys, that won't sign my docket. I can't sign that because of the virus. Just sign the docket.
That's crazy. But now listen to this, and it gets even worse. So I said,